So you got a new track too. That's pretty sick. Here,
Yeah.
Friendly.
Yeah. Thanks for having me on. And that's kind of, what we want to talk about a little bit is, I'm tired of driving all these hours to California, but starting next weekend, we are going to be open at Fernley 95A. It's the circle track and the road course that was out there. So we've purchased the front half, which is the circle track and the 200 acres up front.
Mm-hmm.
We're calling it 95 Motorsports Complex.
There you go. You got signs and stuff for them, or will they know?
They're coming. We're coming.
Okay.
Yeah.
So the back half is that still like the road course back there, or what?
Yeah, it's a separate owner, and what I hear is he's going to be repaving it. It's kind of deteriorated over the last few years, so it's not really usable. So he's investing some money, and then I think the road course is going to be up and going too. So what we're trying to do is kind of team up and make this a motorsports complex, and not even a motorsports complex, an event complex, because you could do so much more than just motorsports. So, we're kind of sticking with what we know first, which is moto and the circle track that's there. We're kind of redoing the circle track a little bit, but for the most part, it's sticking, how it used to be. With some minor changes, but the moto side is all new, and we got one track completed, and we're getting ready to build our second track and UTV track.
So it's a mix of the second track is also UTV track? Or?
No. The second track is a moto track, and then the third track would be
a UTV.
UTV, and then hopefully by May we'll have an amateur supercross track in the infield of the circle track.
Oh.
We already got, some infrastructure there, some stands, lights, and, do you remember the old Carson track days, like Wednesday night practices? That's what we're going for. We want, somewhere to ride under the lights when it's hot, summertime. And so I think am I good?
Yeah.
Okay. I think we'll have that done around May. We're shooting.
Cool.
Yeah. Shooting for May on that.
That'd be fun, to just go out there, even if you're not riding, just to watch people practice on the night. And
yeah.
Are you gonna have concessions and stuff?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Sick.
Not this weekend. It's just a practice weekend.
Yeah.
But yeah, we will have concessions on the moto side and the circle track side pretty soon.
Dang, that's gonna be huge.
I've teamed up with Daniel Blair. Some of you guys might know him in the moto industry. He works for Feld and owns Eagle Grit and other things, but he is running and owning the promotion company with me. So he'll be up here full time starting in May. We plan on taking it easy the first few months. People underestimate how much work it is to build a moto track, and all the local people who, I hear it all the time, who, talk shit on the Fernley track. It's not as easy as you think to build a track.
Mm-hmm.
It takes a lot of time, a lot of equipment, a lot of labor. And so I kind of have a newfound respect for anybody who runs or owns a track. I think I'm like 2.5 months, almost 3 months in on this one track, and we're going to be open this next weekend for the first time. We were shooting for originally March 1st, but it's come together a little quicker than we expected. I knew we were, in for a huge undertaking, but we're a little bit ahead of schedule, so we're going to sneak in a couple practices before
test it out.
So what's this weekend? Is it Saturday and Sunday? Anyone can go out to practice there?
Yep. Saturday, Sunday, anybody can come out. We're not sure if we're going to do class practice or an open practice, separated big bikes, little bikes. It depends on our turnout.
Mm-hmm.
We're prepared to have a big turnout. If we need to break down by classes, we will. But we're going to kind of play that one by ear,
Mm-hmm.
Sweet.
Yeah, that'll be cool. So how'd you find how'd this come about? How'd you find the property, or who took
A buddy of mine was hosting a drift event on the road course.
Oh.
and he was talking with the owner of the property I ended up buying the front half, and he said that he had a friend that might be interested and linked us up, and we started talking, and the numbers made sense. I've been looking for land for almost 2 years. It's a lot harder to find the right land than you might think. I've searched and I've looked at some property in Mound House and Dayton area, and for one reason or another, it just wasn't the right land. The road needed too much improvement on the way in, or water was an issue, or whatever. So when this one came up, this property came up, we got a little bit lucky because there was infrastructure already there for the circle track. We already had well, we already had water trucks, we already had generators for power. So we kind of had a jump start on the financial burden it would have been if we started from scratch.
Yeah.
Just worked out, the right timing, the right place, and awesomely enough, the right dirt. I went out there, I assumed that it was going to be sand like the current, Fernley track that we all, ride. And it's not sand at all. It's like an alkali clay, super sticky. And so I thought I was going to have to bring dirt or clay in. And turns out I've actually had to bring sand in to mix in with the clay.
Mm.
But I think people will be surprised at the material.
Yeah. So like when it's dry, are you like on practice? There'll be parts where it'll be dry. You have to rewater and stuff. So is it like dusty or like how's?
Oh, we're gonna water it like any.
Like just keep it water the whole time.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Oh,
We got
okay.
water trucks. We're gonna start watering probably Wednesday.
Oh, cool.
What do you know what happened to? Didn't Wade try to build a track out there on that property like 5, maybe longer years ago, and they got it like half built and it never opened?
I'm not sure. I know that there was a track probably 20 years ago there. I've heard, I've met a couple people who rode it, and they said that they remember it vaguely because it was so long ago. Because I was trying to figure out, who rode the track, what it was like, what were the complaints, what were the positive
Mm.
things about it, and it was really hard to get any feedback from anybody because it was so long ago.
Yeah.
So what's one thing I'm curious about, and you don't have to use numbers from your track, but just numbers that are associated with running any type of track. Like that's why I've always wondered, like how gnarly is the insurance to have a track like practice versus race versus general whatever, or like what does it cost for water? I guess you guys are on a well, but and like how much does it cost in fuel to like prep the track once it's already built? Because I think that's what a lot of people don't get to. Everyone's always bitching about every track, but then it's like I don't even understand on some tracks how it's viable unless you have 100 riders show up every time. I don't know how they make any money.
Yeah, I'm a numbers guy, so I started digging into the numbers right away, and I was surprised by some of the numbers. Some of them were lower than I thought. Some of them were higher than I thought. Something that comes to mind is insurance. You assume that it's crazy insurance, and it's not. It's. I mean, insurance is always more than you want to pay, but I thought it was pretty reasonable. You have big upfront costs on equipment. That was a big one, but I finance some stuff that they have really great financing right now through equipment companies, so that wasn't so bad. The land itself, you're paying fair market value basically, so the land, depending on where you're buying the land is determines the cost. And now in Fernley, it's pretty reasonable still.
It's going up too out there, huh?
Yeah, I think Fernley is going to be completely different 20 years from now. I think it's going to be one of the fastest growing cities in Northern Nevada. They're getting ready to do development out there for commercial real estate stuff. But no, to get back to cost, there are some things that are higher cost than I thought, but we have a really really strong base group of riders here. That's what I was most surprised about. Fernley has always drawn a lot of riders and spectators. When I go down to the NorCal tracks, it seems like there's a lot less than when I go to the Fernley track, and I've been looking at the numbers, and what I thought is true. We can have 300 or 400 race entries up here in Fernley, which is just pretty spectacular. For a weekend, weekend warrior group of people. We have a good base. So I think we're going to be pretty successful just from our core group of Northern Nevada people that ride, And then I think the UTV track is something that's unknown to us. I'm not a UTV guy. It's something that I'm learning, but the more I learn, the more I realize how many people have UTVs up here. It's pretty crazy. I didn't put it on. I wasn't the promoter. Another gentleman was the promoter on our land. Over Veterans Day, they did a poker run, which was like UTV and off-road trucks, and they raised $75,000 for veterans in one day. The parking lot was packed, front to back, it's primarily UTV. So I think the UTV market is going to be as strong, if not stronger, than the moto market.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if that takes off even more than the actual track, because I don't know of anywhere that's you can go ride like a prepped and watered UTV track, but if you go out to Moon Rocks, Chickadee, anywhere, it's fucking packed with UTVs every weekend.
Yeah. And I think I'm the type of person that likes a track where you can go and be competitive, not just cruising the hills. And I don't know how that's going to translate, but I think that if we start, we have a grassroots approach and build the local series, and have a good track and react and give the UTV people what they're looking for, we could do a good job. And that's kind of how the mindset I'm having is I'm going in with, a clean blank slate, and I'm going to react to how the UTV guys, respond to me and make the necessary changes. With moto, I have a better, I feel a better knowledge base of what people are looking for, so I'm moving in a direction just from experience on that, which I don't have on the UTV side. So we're going to have to learn it and, make changes when necessary. And I think it's going to be, as big, if not bigger than the moto.
Yeah, that'd be huge.
One thing that I was thinking about the other day is like, how do you walk the fine line of like exclusivity and operating a full-time track? Because I think with the current Fernley track, they turn out so many riders because it's only open so often. So like when it's open, it's like you gotta go because there's nothing else to ride. So that's great for you guys too anyway, because you'll be the only track open whenever you're open. And two, it's only open once every 2 months or 3 months or whenever they have a race, so everyone goes. So like I remember when 28 was open all the time, that was also the only track that was open for practice, but sometimes they would have fucking no one there, and then other times it would be packed, and I didn't go there every time it was open because I knew it would be open tomorrow or next weekend or something like that. So like how do you keep drawing that many riders? Because I have no doubt it'll be fucking packed this weekend and like for the first few races. So like how do you keep them coming back?
Well, unlike the NorCal tracks or some of the SoCal tracks, we're not going to be open every weekend. And maybe down there in time, in the years to come, we may offer that. But yeah, to your point, people get tired of riding the same track. They're going to want to travel, or they're going to want to take weekends off or whatever. So I think it's, we got to just find that balance of how much is too much and how much is not enough. We're not going to be open every weekend.
with having circle track, UTV, moto, and other events there, my goal is to be open every weekend running some event, but it may not be moto. And so I kind of want to circulate between, different things and to keep people excited when they do come. And I want to work with the the current Fernley track to make sure we're not, double scheduling things. And because I want that track to succeed too. My goal is to build the Northern Nevada moto scene. And I don't want to see any track, suffer in this area because we don't have enough of them. We need more tracks, and hopefully down the road, I would love to open up another track somewhere if this is successful, But I think there is a balance of being open too much and not enough, and that's something that we're going to have to learn as we go. But we're going to start off. We don't have our schedule posted yet. And I don't want to say too much on it because we're still making changes. And, once you release something, people don't like change.
Yeah.
So by March 1st, we will have our full year schedule out and people will see that, we're not open every weekend, but we're open quite a bit.
Sweet. So are you already in talks with like Battleborn for getting a couple of the local rounds there for like fall or something?
I have not spoke with him. I'm going to go to, I need to go to the Over the Hill Gang or Old Timers, groups and speak with them. I've been so busy, trying to get this track open and starting another company as well. So I just been slammed. But I know I'm going to be conscientious of their schedule. I'm not sure that they have their schedule out yet. I was kind of waiting to see what they got.
Sweet. Yeah, I was talking with Adam on the way back from Easter yesterday, and we were talking about how crazy it is. Like, probably back in like 2010, 2011 era, when there was like two sanctioning bodies for races, they like wouldn't work together. This could have been a little bit earlier than that too, but they would like schedule races on top of each other, and they would make you pick. Which sounds so crazy
just
now.
cutting each other's throats. Huh?
Like we don't even have fucking tracks to ride, let alone you have to pick one, whichever, because people are trying to do both series and then you can only miss so many rounds to be in the points. They make you pick. Like it was crazy back then.
Was that MX West in like Sierra Nevada or something?
Yeah, I can't remember. I know Sierra was one of them, but I can't remember if MX West was no more at this time or what, but it was crazy back then.
We can't afford to do that.
No.
No way.
The moto scene in Nevada has died. Well, I don't want to say the moto scene, but the track scene anyways. There was a time when we had, 5 tracks within an hour probably. And now we have one that's open, maybe a dozen times a year. So, we can't afford to do that. We got to work with each other and, like I stated, my goal is to grow the moto scene in Northern Nevada, not kill it. So we got to work together.
Yeah.
Did you have to work with the city at all, or because it was already existing, like the land use was already there, like it was pretty much a go from the start?
Yeah, we are working with the county, but there was a lot of stuff in place. Fernley has been awesome thus far to work with. My county, it's been great out there.
They do a lot of cool things for that BMX track too, so I'm sure they'd help out with like grants or however that works.
I just got a call actually last week from the old owner that I bought it from, and I guess next track might go away, and they were asking for a new location and I would be interested in having it on our land. I said, absolutely.
That's cool.
Yeah, it would be great if we could get it over there.
Yeah, one more thing.
That's one more thing, and that's kind of what we're trying to do. We want a pump track. We want a BMX track. We want dirt jumps. We would love to have a skate park at some point.
Yeah, that'd be cool. You might even be starting like a new generation, like a Woodward.
It's funny. It's funny you say that. My partner and I, we've been looking into something similar as a Woodward, basically like almost like a half trampoline park, half skate park, like Woodward, and what the cost would be, because the more events that we can have on this land, the better.
Yeah.
So it would be like a business within a business. That's something that could be open 7 days a week, rented out for parties.
Right.
Yeah, the sky's really the limit on what we do with it.
Yeah. If kids
Whatever we
camp.
do, we want to do well though. So we're trying not to overextend.
Mm-hmm.
Careful to make sure
Yeah.
we execute on whatever we do.
That's another fine line too. It's like you got too many things going on. You can't focus enough to make them great. But at the same time, it's like that's kind of what you need to do right now where we're at in the scene and like how many riders we have, because I think that's why it's like crazy to me that people can't even open a track for a million reasons. But then once they do, they fail because it's like a one-trick pony, where I think that will really help you guys having other events come, just not just motocross practice on one track and that's it.
Yeah, that's something that when getting into this, for it to make sense, we had to do more than one thing. But I'm careful when budgeting, and I know that I can operate this facility on moto only. I know that will pay for everything because that's what I know. And so I wanted to know that I can focus on one thing and it be sustainable for a long period of time, not something that comes and goes. We can't afford to have that up here. We need a stable track that's open pretty regularly.
Yeah.
Have you been able to ride it?
I haven't rode it, but my son and tested it. Yeah.
How was their reaction, and like what's the lap time like? Do you know, or did you?
Yeah, for like a good vet rider, it was like a minute 50.
Oh, cool.
That's pretty long.
Yeah,
yeah.
And we made a few changes since then. I think it'll be a little bit longer. A couple obstacles. It's not a crazy fast track. It's I would say moderate speed. Even we have a balance of low speed corners, a couple higher speed corners. We have some big bowl turns. We have some flat corners. We got a little bit of everything.
So like if you could describe the layout, I know this might sound lame, but for someone out there who's driving right now, I just want to picture the layout. Like you got doubles and tables, or what are some of the obstacles?
We don't have a single double.
Oh, nice.
And we wanted to be a little bit careful. We want to make it safe, but we want to make it fun. And so, we have some step ups and tables, step on, step off. We have an awesome like dragons back into a roller section. That's
Nice.
pretty rad. Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah. We've gotten a chance to till up some of the clay, and I'm really excited to see, fully prepped, what it looks like. We got 60,000 pounds of rice hull coming in this week.
What's that?
It's like a byproduct of rice, I believe. It's something they use in the NorCal tracks.
Oh.
Help. The clay is so dense right now. We need to like aerate it. We need it. We want that loam. We want it to be sticky enough where it'll rut up, but we don't want it so sticky and dense where it goes hard pack and like blue groove immediately.
Yeah.
So we're trying to find that balance of like how much sand we mix in, how much rice hull.
How do you mix that in? Do you just dump it and till it at the same time?
Yeah, we got a Moschio vertical tiller that's awesome. That's something that like a lot of NorCal tracks don't have for some reason, but a lot of the Midwest East Coast tracks have it. So I kind of saw, how they prep their tracks and bought some similar equipment. So we definitely went all out on the equipment side.
Yeah.
And, got good stuff. Like, I mean, I've never prepped the Fernley track, but they go out there with a blade and a loader, and I don't know why they do that, but we got a dozer and farm tractor with a tiller and a skid steer and we kind of have a little bit of everything. Yeah.
So I remember like 28, like changed the track a few times, like that kept it cool. Do you plan on ever like I always thought like, oh, every month if they changed from this corner to this corner straight away, the next month the next corner, so it's not too much gas and stuff. Like, would that be hard to do? Like,
No, I think it is time consuming to build a track. So if you were gonna like, level it and start over, that's
that'd be
not
crazy. Yeah.
that's not like feasible. But one of the things that we're doing is we have one track completed now. We're gonna start on our second moto track, and not everybody likes the same type of prep. There's vet riders who don't like foot deep ruts, or there's people who don't love hard packs. So we want to have two tracks and prep them differently. So track one weekend might be deep prep, real wet, at the beginning, and the track two might have like a 2-inch deep, tilling and a little less water, and then the following weekend that we're open, swap it. Like track two will be deep, track one will be a little bit more mellow to give people, some variety. And
yeah, that's cool.
Yeah, and like me being a mini dad, like I hate going to tracks and paying the same amount, and we only get 20 minutes of practice, and big bikes get 40 minutes of practice. So that's something like I definitely want to change. Where if we have two tracks, we can have little bikes on one track for 30 minutes, big bikes on the other track, and swap, and that way you could ride all day.
That's sick.
Yeah.
It's kind of like an open practice then. You're like, just this one's closed, but this one's open, so fuck it.
Yeah.
Super cool. That's a good idea. So are you going to have like one track more advanced jumps or kind of similars where there's like not a double?
No, I want two main tracks. I want like two good tracks. I don't want a vet track and a main track. I want two really good tracks.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Yeah, because that'd be kind of lame if it was like a vet track, but it was like prep gnarly.
Yeah.
Because anyone that would be interested in the gnarly prep wouldn't want to ride that track anyway. Yeah, it'll be interesting to see how it grows out there. I think you're right that it's going to be totally different in 20 years. Where I think we'll have a lot of people moving here, and it's just going to grow and grow, and hopefully some riders come with them.
Yeah, well, it's crazy. Just USA Parkway, what that's done to Reno, Sparks, and Fernley, and if they develop, how they say they're going to develop out in Fernley, it's only going to get crazier.
Dang.
Hopefully, they can keep up with the infrastructure, grow it at a rate, it's sustainable.
Yeah. Yeah, it doesn't seem like it wouldn't be a bad spot because Lahontan's right there. It's a cool lake. Reno's right here.
Yeah.
So.
I know I talk about Silver Springs like that all the time. Like, dude, if this place wasn't full of fucking tweakers, it would be sick because there's so much BLM around. It's right next to Lahontan.
Yeah.
Like, we just need to, the prices don't support it, but instead of putting new mobile homes out there and you start building more houses and just fucking.
Have you seen what they've done to Silver? Like they're, that roundabout where you go towards Fernley. They've redone the road like leading up to it.
Yeah.
There's a roundabout. USA Parkway. I didn't even know that was there until I started going out to the track.
You go through Dayton there?
I was going through Dayton at first from Carson, and I timed it. It was faster going through Reno actually.
Whoa.
Yeah, with the construction and everything. Yeah.
Damn. That's crazy. Are you going to stay in Carson or are you moving out to Fernley?
No, I'm not moving out to Fernley. No, I'm not moving out there.
Yeah.
I think Fernley's been like the #1 city for growth like the last 5 years in a row or something.
Has it? It doesn't surprise me.
Yeah.
It'll be so cool though. I can't
Fernley's
wait.
not too bad. Like Daniel, he's excited to move to Fernley.
Yeah.
Opportunity to move to Reno. Wants to go to Fernley, A lot of people like that small town.
Yeah, a lot of people do.
Country living kind of,
So what's your job roles, you and Daniel, in the promotions company?
We're just 50-50, owners on the promotion company. I have another partner on the land side.
Okay, I was going to ask you if it's two separate things.
Yeah, it's two separate businesses. The promotion company will be running all the events, all the practices, races, any special events, So it'll all run through the.
That'll be cool, and he'll probably be able to promote it on his podcast a lot and stuff.
Yeah, he'll promote it well. And I wanted to team up with somebody who had like a voice in the industry, and he does, because we want to have some big races there. We with our thoughts of having an amateur supercross track in the infield of the circle track, we would love to do a West Coast mini O's. It's kind of something that's on our mind. West Coast, we don't have like huge like national amateur events. So you got Freestone, that's big. Mini O's is big. Loretta, Mammoth, I think, is probably the biggest one we have over here, and so we need some.
Yeah. So you would have like a supercross one? Or?
Yeah, so like first half of the week would be Supercross, or second half would be motocross, or vice versa.
Right.
That's kind of how Mini O's is in Florida. It's a really rad event.
That's cool.
That'd be cool to do the night races in the summer there, have like a triple crown, like since no one does arena cross anymore. Fuck, those were so fun back in the day.
Yeah, and like unlike arena cross, that's 4 lanes or whatever. You know, the infield of the circle track is big. We can have a full supercross track in there.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and the futures, like what's going on today. I've been on my phone all day, you know, watching A2 futures. You know, it's growing quickly. Like supercross is the future, and for so many years, you know, these moto guys, they've raced their whole amateur careers on motocross, and then all of a sudden, like they get 3 months to prep when they turn pro to race supercross, which is almost like a different sport, you know. So I think that's a big push in amateur racing is the supercross. I think there's 1 or 2 amateur supercross tracks in SoCal area, but there's nothing in NorCal. There's definitely nothing, you know, right here by us. So it'll be cool to have that.
That will be cool. Yeah. I mean, even back in the late 2000s, it was like insane for a track to have like a actual supercross track, like when Milestone put it in, or like Racetown, Comp Edge. It was like, oh shit, that's sick. But you couldn't ride it unless you had your pro card.
Yeah, I think there is some insurance stuff on a pro supercross track, not an amateur supercross track, but a like legit pro track. I think there is some differences. I know it's more expensive, like the LA tracks, or I think Hemet's the only one like public track that's open now, but it's like $85 or $90 to go practice a day.
Oh,
you gotta have your pro card. Yeah, it's wild.
Why do you think, you know, with so many, I've heard of so many people trying to start tracks around here and like no one's been able to pull it off in the past like fucking 10 years, it seems like. Why do you think that is? Because besides a bunch of reasons, but I mean, you go to SoCal and like whatever Star West is called now is like literally right fucking next to houses. And like we have so much land here. It's like, what the fuck's the deal?
Yeah. Well, it's more difficult to find the right land than you think, you know, because you have to have quite a bit of it, and you don't want to buy land that's right up against houses or something because you're asking for a fight, you know. And those tracks that have been around forever, I think they probably get away with. But even Milestone just closed down. You know, it's been there for long, you know. And
from the noise,
I don't know.
Well,
I don't think so because it's in like an industrial area.
Yeah,
it's probably not that. I don't know why I haven't read anything about it, but
yeah, I don't know. Yeah, you have to have a lot of land, which is expensive. You have to have 1 or multiple wells, which is an unknown cost. You know, it could be pretty expensive. You got to have power of some sort, whether it be city power or generators. Generators are, you know, big generators are expensive. There's just a lot of cost. You know, equipment. You could be, you know, $200,000-$300,000 in equipment. You know, there's just, you know, a ton of costs to build a track. You know, we're definitely in it. It's not like we, you know, put 20 grand together, you know, starting this track. You know, it's definitely an investment.
So how do you go about finding flaggers and stuff?
Well, I'm trying to start a nonprofit organization right now. Actually, I'm looking for free flaggers. So I talked to juvenile probation in Carson, actually, but
hell yeah,
I actually gotta work with the county we're in. So I'm going to be reaching out to Fernley probation and trying to get some juvenile kids who have hours that they got to worked off, because, you know, like my experience, almost everywhere you go, it seems like everybody complains about the flaggers, you know. But I think, you know, we could teach some, you know, kids how to do it and probably do pretty well under the right leadership. And another thing we're looking at doing is lighting, so, you know, like safety lights and supercross.
Oh, like over triples and stuff?
Yeah, I've been putting some numbers together and seeing what it would cost to do all the big jumps.
Yeah.
We want a fun but safe track.
Yeah.
Like safety is number one. It's already such a dangerous sport. We don't need to make it any more dangerous by stupidity or mistakes, human error. So we gotta. I hate saying dummy proof, but like we gotta make it dummy proof as best as we can, and lighting and adequate number of flaggers and prepping the track properly and like that, is important to us.
Yeah.
They used to do that shit back in the day at Fernley. I remember. Remember they had all those kids that would show up in the van. They would all wear maroon shirts.
Yeah, they did.
I forget what that program was called, but that used to be the flaggers at every single race out there.
Yeah, Stead too.
Mm-hmm.
I remember that.
Yeah,
it was gray shirt with the maroon collar.
Yeah, that was it.
Hey, I got a question for you, JP.
Yeah.
You got any Kleenex around here? I got what is jersey? I was about to use Conway's jersey.
It's the same thing.
It is the same thing. Use this one too.
No. For real though, we got some all congested. I know.
The paper towel's right around the corner.
Can I grab one?
Yeah. Yeah. I think it's empty.
I filled it.
Oh, okay.
I'm on it, dude.
Okay. I got a huge thing of fucking toilet paper today too.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I looked at Costco's thing and it's fucking $14.77 for Charmin or $14.49 for Kirkland Charmin. Same thing. I was like, oh, it's the same print.
Yeah.
But it was like a couple cents cheaper.
So you went with the name brand, huh?
I went with the Kirkland.
Oh, you went with the Kirkland?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I was going to say, I'm surprised they didn't
cheaper.
fucking cheap out for the cents.
I did. Yeah. Well, it was the same thing.
Glad to do. Stay humble to your roots.
I will.
Stay rooted in your roots.
I will, dude.
Thank you.
No, thank you.
Are you going to ride the track this weekend?
Yeah, you?
Nah.
Let's go,
I'm
dude.
just kidding. Yeah.
It'll be sick.
That'll be fun.
Yeah, we'll be there. You guys should go.
What time's practice, Sam? 9 to 2?
9 to 2.
Cool.
Yeah.
Cool. Yeah, that'll be good. That'll be some.
Gates are going to open at 7.
Okay.
They're open early
People
this weekend. Yeah. We don't know how many people are coming.
Mm-hmm.
So, we want to err on the side of the caution and have enough time before practice starts.
Do you have like an address like for people that might be listening in Sacramento? Like, what do they just search 95A?
Yeah, look at 95A Raceway.
Okay.
Yeah, the address is.
Oh, okay.
So this is January 25th and 26th, 9 to 2. And what's the Instagram again?
It is 95 Motorsports Complex.